My life was, for lack of a better word, beige. My name is Arthur Penhaligon, and I sold beige-colored office supplies, staplers, file folders, mouse pads. My apartment was beige. My car was beige. My cat, Bartholomew, was a delightful shade of beige. Sundays were the peak of this beige existence. Of course. Dreading Monday. Tinkering with my one non-beige passion. My grandfather's old ham radio. It was a monstrous contraption of dials, tubes and wires that took up half my living room. Dials, tubes, wires. It didn't really work, not in the traditional sense, but I loved the challenge of trying to fix it. That particular Sunday, August 31st, 2025, was no different. The air was thick with the promise of autumn's end, and I was deep in the guts of the radio. I had spent the morning replacing a series of burnt-out vacuum tubes that I had sourced from some obscure corner of the internet. Bartholomew watched me from his beige cat tree, his tail twitching with what I could only assume was profound feline judgment. I twisted a dial, flipped a switch, and the machine hummed to life with a low, guttural thrum it had never made before. It felt different. The static wasn't just noise. It was a rhythmic pulse, like a slow, mechanical heartbeat that seemed to resonate right in my chest. I leaned in closer, my glasses slipping down my nose. This was progress, or something like it. I fiddled with the main frequency tuner. The humming grew louder, the lights on the panel flickering in a strange hypnotic sequence. The air in the room grew heavy, thick with the smell of ozone and something else, something that reminded me of old books and dust. It was completely and utterly fascinating. For a moment, my beige world was filled with vibrant, electric color. I felt a surge of excitement. I decided to give the radio one last tweak before surrendering to familial duty. I turned one final knob. A small, unassuming one labeled auxiliary phase modulator. That's when things got legendary. The humming escalated into a deafening roar. The lights didn't just flicker. They blazed with the intensity of 1,000 suns. The room started to vibrate, and Bartholomew shot under the couch like a furry beige cannonball. I felt a bizarre pulling sensation, like the entire universe was trying to suck me through a very small straw. My vision blurred, colors swirled, and my beige world dissolved into a kaleidoscope of chaos. The sensation lasted for what felt like an eternity and no time at all. It was disorienting, like being on a roller coaster in the dark, like listening to a symphony of dial-up modems. My stomach did flips I didn't know it was capable of. The roaring sound subsided, replaced by a gentle hum, and then silence. A profound, ringing silence. I blinked, my eyes struggling to adjust. The blinding light was gone. I checked my watch. 3:05 p.m. My phone. 3:05 p.m. Okay, so I hadn't lost any time. Maybe I had just imagined the whole thing. Maybe I'd inhaled too many soldering fumes. Or my one cup of coffee was stronger than I thought. The air smelled different. My lavender air freshener was gone, replaced by faint, acrid coal smoke. I looked out my window. My street, usually sleek electric cars, now boxy, loud cars belching smoke. The people, their clothes were all wrong. Men in hats, fedoras, trilbies, women in conservative dresses. A cold dread mixed with a fizz of excitement washed over me. This wasn't a hallucination. Something was fundamentally wrong. Oh, fundamentally wrong. Oh, fundamentally different. The digital kiosk was gone. A wooden newspaper stall stood on the corner. Papers stacked high. I squinted at the top headline. Big, bold, terrifyingly clear. War declared. My blood ran cold. War? What war? What war? I looked closer at the date beneath the masthead. Not August 31st, 2025. September 3rd, 1939. My first reaction was pure, unadulterated panic. 1939. That was impossible. It was a typo. It had to be a typo on a very elaborate, city-wide movie set. But the smell of the air, the rumble of the old-fashioned engines, the somber look on the faces of the people below, it was all too real. The building was the same, but my apartment wasn't mine. The furniture was older, more ornate. There was no giant flat-screen TV. In their place was a bulky wooden radio cabinet and a manual typewriter. My beige minimalist sanctuary was gone, replaced by the home of a stranger from nearly a century ago. I was an intruder here, a ghost from the future. I was wearing jeans and a t-shirt with a picture of a cat teaching. I would stick out like a sore, anachronistic thumb. The fear was a physical thing, a heavy weight in my chest. Every creak of the floorboards, every distant shout from the street below sent a jolt of anxiety through me. What if someone found me here? I would be locked up in a second. I had to think. I had to be smart. My grandfather's radio was my only way back. I cautiously approached the machine, which now sat silently in the corner, looking as innocent as any other piece of antique furniture. It was my only hope. I took a moment to just breathe and observe. The city outside my window was London. It was London on the brink of the Second World War. The newspapers weren't just props. They were declarations of a global conflict that I had only ever read about in history books. I was standing at a pivotal moment in history, a witness to the final hours of peace. Just as I was about to make a desperate attempt to restart the radio, I heard a key in the lock. My heart leaped into my throat. Someone was coming home. I dove behind a large plush armchair. I peeked over the top of the chair, and my jaw dropped. It couldn't be. It was him. It was Winston Churchill.
Good heavens, man, who are you? How did you get in here?
The door was open.
My boy, you look as though you've seen a ghost.